Hey everyone, welcome to today's video. I'll be reviewing the Sakura Jelly Roll Metallic Gel Pens. I hope you enjoyed the video and let's jump right in. The Sakura Jelly Roll Metallic Gel Pens are available in the 1.0mm size. They come in 14 standard and jewel tone shades. They can be purchased individually anywhere between $1 to $3, as well as in a variety of different sized packs. The largest set that can be purchased is a 16 color cube, which includes all 14 shades and an extra gold and silver pen. This cube can be purchased anywhere between $20 to $25. Recently, Sakura released their new retractable jelly roll pens that come in the 0.8mm size, but these are only available in a few shades. I don't have any experience with these, and I don't plan to pick these up since I already have the original capped versions. However, if you'd like to see a comparison video, do let me know. I'd be happy to do that if you're interested. In terms of packaging, these pens come in the classic Sakura Jelly Roll clear plastic bodies. The distinguishing factor in the Sakura Jelly Roll packaging would be their caps. For the metallic jelly rolls, the caps are color coordinated to match the inks inside, and they feature a silver glitter finish. Before I get into the ink formulation, I'll be swatching these pens first in my B5 Notebook Therapy dotted journal to show how they appear on light paper. These pens show up on both light and dark paper, which I will also feature later in this video. As far as the ink formulation, the inks are infused with shimmering and reflective silver glitters, which provide the metallic finish. These pens are archival, water-resistant, water-based, fade, and feather-resistant. Not only do they show up on light and dark paper, but they can be used to write on matte and glossy surfaces like photographs. In terms of my personal experience and thoughts on these pens, I've had these pens for several years. I've had to replace the gold and copper shades multiple times since those two are my favorite shades, and I reach for those most often. I do think that this is a generous shade range. I personally don't feel like there's a shade that's missing from this line, and I also don't feel like this line is bloated with a bunch of extra colors, or colors that are too similar to one another. These pens definitely live up to the Jelly Roll namesake with how smooth they write. I rarely ever experience skipping when using these. The ink flows very consistently and they're incredibly easy to write with. Although I've had most of these for years, I haven't experienced any issues in terms of them drying out or scratchiness when writing. However, one important thing to note with these pens is that you want to make sure you store them horizontally. This will ensure that they'll continue writing smoothly and evenly, and also extend the longevity of these pens. From personal experience, when I first started at my current job, I brought one of the gold and copper pens to work to keep in my pencil cup. After a few weeks of having them stand up vertically in the cup, I noticed that the glitter particles would settle at the bottom of the pen, so when I'd go to write with them, only the liquidy base would come out, which was quite unappealing. Unfortunately, when I tried laying them back down horizontally, the formulation didn't ever mix back together to how it was before, which I ultimately just ended up replacing. But for all the pens that I've stored horizontally, they still work perfectly to this day, so just something to keep in mind if you plan on picking these up. I've used these pens on Leuchtturm 1917's 80 GSM paper, Archer and Olive and Notebook Therapy's 160 GSM white paper, and Archer and Olive's 150 GSM black paper. I haven't experienced any bleed through on these pages, but there was a little ghosting on the thinner Leuchtturm paper. In terms of the swatches on the black paper, I recently picked up a B5 Scribbles That Matter blackout dotted journal since I ran out of my black Archer and Olive paper. This is my first time using a Scribbles That Matter journal, so I'm very excited to be trying it out. In my opinion, some shades are a little hit or miss in terms of saturation and color payoff. My personal favorites are the gold, copper, emerald, blue, and silver. I think they appear quite vibrant on both light and dark paper. My least favorite shades, however, have to be the burgundy, sepia, hunter green, and blue black, which was a surprise to me. When it comes to regular gel pens, I typically prefer the more muted, earthy jewel tones over the bright standard colors. But I was quite disappointed in these shades. I just don't think they're saturated enough and look quite dull. Unfortunately, I don't think these neutral shades work very well with this metallic formulation, but I do appreciate that they all show up on dark paper nonetheless. In terms of whether or not I recommend these, it ultimately depends on if you are personally a fan of metallics. Overall, I'd really only recommend the shades I mentioned if you're wanting to use them for both light and dark paper. I really don't think you need all of these unless the other colors are really speaking to you. The reason why I purchased these pens in the past was mainly to use in a black bullet journal that I was using at the time. However, since I no longer use a black bullet journal and rarely ever use black dotted paper, I hardly ever reach for these pens, aside from the gold and copper. I personally found over time that aside from the occasional gold and copper accents, I really don't care for any other metallic colors in my journal. However, if you're wanting to try metallic gel pens, these are affordable, great quality, and they come in a fair color range for you to experiment with. Well, that does it for today's review of the Sakura Jelly Roll Metallic Gel Pens. Let me know if you've tried these and what you think of them. Or if you have any questions that weren't answered in this video, leave them down in the comments and I'll be sure to get back to you. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed it and found it helpful. Take care and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.